Thank you very much for joining us today at the SITS 15 show in London Olympia. As part of the ITIL Practitioner Architect Team, I want to discuss the development and some of your thoughts on the qualification. But firstly, I'd really like to try and understand or ask you why you joined the Architect Team in the first place.
Well, it was actually an honour to be asked to consider joining the team, but I really jumped at the opportunity. I think the ITIL practitioner is going to address what has been considered a gap. I think since we went from ITIL V2 to ITIL V3, the foundation certification had to cover the life cycle. Yeah. So I think it was wider in scope, but then naturally shallower in depth. Yeah. And we lost some of that, or the ability for training organisations to give people that practical advice to go back into the workplace. So, the feedback I got was that's what's missing these days, and so that opportunity to help address the gap that people were telling us about was great. I think it's an exciting development that's been long awaited.
And what do you think this is going to mean for practitioners actually taking the training and the qualification?
I think it's going to arm them with the ability to actually make a difference and do something back in the workplace. I think there's a lot of people taking the foundation certification that get very excited, leave the training room, quite fired up, and then get back into the workplace and go, what do I do? Where do I start? How do I convince people that I need to make a difference? Yeah. How do I understand what the business pain points are that I can address using best practice processes as per ITIL? And they're struggling with that. So it's going to give them that practical ability to say, okay, how do I follow a continual service improvement process which says, what's my vision? Where do I want to be? How do I understand where I actually am today and what that gap is? And then, how do I make a business case for change? How do I get the people on board? So we're talking about, aspects of organisational change management. How do I manage that resistance to change when I'm trying to introduce a new process or change a process? So I think it's exciting for the want-to-be practitioners out there to have that practical advice and a lot more tools in the toolkit.
Yeah. And do you think that that's going to make a real difference for organisations, for employers?
I absolutely do. I think for a lot of people attending ITIL Foundation, there's a management expectation that they're going to come back into the workplace and make a difference. And it doesn't enable them to be a practitioner. It gives them the awareness of what ITIL is, what the service life cycle is. But it doesn't today arm them with that practical ability to do something. So it's going to help manage that expectation of their managers who've sent them on a 3-day foundation course and go, where's my return on investment?
Yeah. Great. And finally, what do you think is, for practitioners, going to be the most exciting element to the qualification?
I think for the practitioner, their ability to make a difference, which we sort of touched on. As I say, I see people leaving the training course, very excited, and this is great, and best practice framework, but then struggling to know how to make that change, how to make a difference. So I think for the practitioner, it's exciting that they can, do another 2 days above and beyond foundation to get that practical assistance and actually really make a difference back in the workplace.
Well, thanks for joining us and sharing your thoughts, and I wish you all the best of luck for the future development.